Real life. Real stories. Let's see what's trending in Indianapolis. This is Paul Poteet on The Edge.
Well, if it isn't my favorite wacky news and weatherman, Paul Poteet.
Substituting for Brittany this week here on the edge of Indy.
Well, I appreciate that because we gave her one chance, and boy, her mom really appreciated it.
My mom liked it.
You did a very good job.
Thank you.
Yep, absolutely.
I have worked, Brittany, with more than one person in my 38 years of broadcasting and media, as I should say these days. In 38 years, I've worked with more than one person who would not take a vacation because he was afraid that the key card would be changed when he came back. Because somebody would do such a great job like you did with the weather that there'd be no reason for them.
I'll let you keep your job, Paul.
Of course, I found that the key card can change, even without you leaving the city limits. So it really doesn't matter. Take the vacation.
Just know that you're on the bubble, Paul.
Right.
I mean
you should stay on the good side, okay?
You need to bring us good weather regularly.
I always assume, Aaron, I'm on the, but that's my business model, assuming. But you know what's going to keep me here for years and years? It's funny soaps and pregnant women with bees on their belly and Legos.
That honestly was not our discussion about why we would have you on regular. So that's your common job description right there. Wow.
Going forward, that's my business plan. So we found a few on the edge. Do you ever try to find a good Christmas gift for like somebody, a business associate or whatever? This first story, at first you think, well, there's nothing to it, but then you think, I could see ordering this, online for.
I got some cackles as soon as you sent us this story. So, take it away, man.
This is a company, and it's called Whiskey River, and which of course, I have a Google search at all times. Alerts for whiskey.
I got an alert.
Whatever comes up anywhere on the internet. Whiskey. Hello, Paul. Are you awake? Yeah, he is next to that tumbler over in the corner. This is Whiskey River. They make wacky soaps, and they have, for all I know, they all smell the same. I mean, who knows? But the labels are the funny things because they're very attractive labels. And the more I looked at this, I thought, I could totally see people going online and buying this for perhaps, say, a hipster or a middle child or whatever. And that's some of the ones here. Like they have one for where are we at? Yeah, introverts. That's good. It's unscented because you're not going anywhere anyway.
Oh, keep going. It gets better.
Grammar police. It smells like you're annoying.
But notice the Y-O-U-R, not the possessive Y-O-U apostrophe R-E. Now, we actually had a cackle about that because we were so fixated on that syntax that literally we weren't seeing that it was actually about grammar police. So
wait a minute. Stop. Hammer time. You were already grammar policing it before you saw the joke.
Exactly.
Of grammar police.
So there's a market for that.
It was like Inception.
Wait a minute. Oh, am I not ready for that? It's like rain on your wedding day is what you're saying. It's ironic.
No. Put her back in the box. No, I'm not ready for her.
That's hilarious. I mean, how many times, though, have you seen the grammar police online? In the middle of some big political argument or whatever, somebody's right there with the your thing. Yep. This is one I thought was funny, too, with apologies to the artist watching us. Soap for true artists smells like unemployment combined with ramen noodles and high-quality paintbrushes.
Oh, my gosh.
That's cold, baby. That's cold.
And Brittany got a kick out of this one, the middle child.
Are you a middle child, Brittany?
That I am.
Largely invisible. That's what you are to us right now.
Go ahead and dye your hair purple. No one will notice.
And it's actually purple. That's the best.
Now, I'm going to own this one. Soap for Geeks, Wi-Fi scented. No one else understands the scent, but, hey, we all have a place there, right?
Did that, tug at your heartstrings
just really
a little bit?
Except for the next one, and that was the soap for hipsters, coffee, bacon, and craft beer. Now, that one really tugged at my heart.
That one made me laugh.
I'm
Made me LOL, as we hipsters say.
And the top kind of looks like bacon.
It absolutely
Yeah,
does.
exactly. I mean, they've got the whole thing down. And, well, I don't know, Brittany. Let's look at our co-host here. Let's see. Bacon, beard.
Yep. There it is.
Cup.
See?
What was that cup right now that you were just chugging a moment ago?
Never you mind.
Oh, do you have the Google alert set up for whiskey too?
I have Amazon shipping those Google alerts. So we're good.
Coffee, bacon. We've heard of his love of bacon. I mean, everything is in there. Craft beer, maybe a time or two.
Oh, F you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So if anybody wants to order me the hipster soap,
I'm
for
all
hipsters.
Good.
Yep. Production.
They've got a bunch of these. I don't know how much. Are we still in the scroll there from their webpage, because they lay them all out for.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was hilarious.
Again, there's a joke there. It says "No regrets, smells like a bad tattoo." And again, grammar police. What's wrong with that picture? No regrets.
Yep.
We've all seen the memes about the tattoos gone awry. So that's the one for your friend that has a mom with like 3 M's or whatever on their arm.
It was a funny article over at Board Panda. That just got me interested in the actual website, so I'm going to check that out as well. But
yeah, I mean that's is this comedy or marketing? I think it's probably more marketing than anything else. So check that out. That's whiskey, or just we'll have the link, in our show notes, or just check out whiskey. That's what I do.
Done.
Always check out whiskey. Now, I would have to have probably about 5 scotch and sodas in me to even think about 20,000 honeybees on my person.
Oh my gosh, yeah. This one.
Now imagine, and I will go, Aaron, excuse me, as I, direct this directly. Hello, Brittany, I'm looking directly at you now.
I'm here with you.
With pregnancy looming, would you want 20,000 bees on your pregnant belly?
That's a quick no.
That's a firm.
That's a quick, hard
firm
no.
Oh my gosh.
Well, she's I guess in fairness to her, she is a beekeeper. And she's also pregnant and posed with 20. Look at that. Oh, good.
That makes my skin crawl.
She says that, where was it? I hope I copied this down. She said that it feels, you get this prickly feeling.
You don't say.
Beg your pardon? She's talking about the photo shoot here. You get this prickly feeling, very warm, and it smells like lemongrass all at the same time. It's sort of like when a kitten crawls on you. No, it's not.
Ma'am, it's not.
What kind of kittens are crawling on her?
That's not purring, that's buzzing.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
she said she ran it past 3 different doctors and they said it was okay, but she was stung 3 different times during the shoot. And I don't know, your babies, I feel it when you get stung. I mean, I don't know.
If you get stung that much, could it not only affect your immune system and mess with the child?
Or is it better to get stung when you're? I got stung one time.
Oh no! No!
I was a kid and I wasn't wearing shoes because I grew up in Huntington County, Indiana. But seriously, I'm just running around with no shoes, and I can still remember. And I was probably 4 or 5. Stepping on a bee, and the bee got really mad and I got really stung, and, I had Barney Rubble feet after that. I mean, they were swole up. So I have always had, a creepiness about bees.
And I think most of society does.
I have a fun bee fact. The only time I've been stung by a bee, I was in Hawaii.
It's a Hawaii bee.
It was a very special Hawaiian bee. And it still hurt.
Now, I mean, no offense to beekeepers, and because we actually had a beekeeper and someone who is passionate about bees on the show, and all that's fine and dandy, but don't shake 20,000 bees on yourself. I think she would even say
one of them's going to get PO'd. 1 out of 20,000. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
Or
Buzz off.
Maybe 3 out of 20,000, like you said. She got stung 3 times.
Well, it's interesting though, because I guess her dad was a beekeeper. And then he got to a point where he couldn't do it anymore. You can't keep the bees once you get to a certain age or whatever. And I think her husband then took over and she and her husband, bees came into my life at a time that we had just suffered a miscarriage. It was our second miscarriage. We were trying to get pregnant. She wanted to find an outlet for an emotion where honeybees symbolize the beginning of new life. The queen bee and her being pregnant or whatever. So I mean, I guess there's more to the story than meets the eye.
Yeah.
But look at what met the eye. I mean, let's look at that one more time here. Let's just sit back and linger on 20,000 bees on somebody's
all right, bring it up again.
Come on.
Ugh.
If anything went wrong, her backup plan was to remove the dress quickly and walk into the garage where she would, as it says, be separated from the bees.
Because they very easily make separations from people all the time.
Just
my plan would be to flail, helplessly and scream
and jump into
scream
water.
like I did when I was 4 years old. I would probably have the same scream.
Speaking of flailing 4-year-olds, right?
Oh, I mean, look at this. You've got to have Legos in your house still, Aaron, right?
Oh gosh, yes. And on top of that, they are the bane of our existence because they get underfoot.
They hurt.
They hurt.
They're like little
Yeah,
demons.
I mean, my only foot injuries then, in adult life weren't from bees. They were from either running or two boys, growing up with Legos. We still have Legos down the hall from Studio B that they've left behind. Now one of them is buying Legos for his son. So they go on and on. This guy in Michigan had kept all of his Legos though, and he had, he has a family now, and he says he has he had $7,000 worth of Legos that he started collecting when he was 5 years old. So he got burglarized, and he said the only thing that they took were the Legos.
That is so sad.
What kind of soap would that criminal have bought?
They ignored his expensive electronics, camera equipment, and tools, solely targeted his Lego collection.
That is so bizarre.
Which he values at about $7,000. But I guess they they left behind he said the manuals, so he would be able to reassemble, and he had it insured.
Oh,
too.
Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I've got a great buddy here in Indianapolis that has literally like 50,000 Legos. I mean, he makes a business out of that, obviously. And he went down to his basement, and literally the entire basement floor is all the different models, all the different buildings, as well as backup models. They had a flood at one point in time, and there was a sea of Legos that you could swim through in the basement. It was terrible. It was kind of interesting at the same time, but I mean, somebody going in there and ripping off Legos, that's like tearing up a childhood memory right there. That is terrible.
Yeah, it's like people that, I don't know, rob a church or whatever, and you always wonder, man, how can you, do you worry about the karma there? No. Lego karma coming back to bite you, and probably would bite you on the bottom of your foot.
Probably so. There it is.
Over and over and over.
In the middle of the night, too. So guard your Legos.
Absolutely. Insure your Legos.
If you've learned nothing else from this segment, I want you to contact the Whiskey River Company for fine soaps, and contact your, insurance professional to make sure that you have a writer. Make sure you have the Lego writer. That's very crucial.
You just snap that onto your existing policy.
Yeah, very nice. Do the Legos float very well?
Yes,
too?
they do. They do. It was a sea of a swath of Legos. I mean, it was literally that deep. I mean, a tsunami.
So if
a Legami.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm going to stop.
If he lived in Miami right now, we'd find him like packing up the station wagon with Legos at this very moment as he gets ready to bug out, just to make sure that they're okay. Well, there you have it: bees, whiskey, soap, and Legos, and of course the weather. If you want it,
we want it. Absolutely, some major stuff happening right now.
Brittany's up here and I'm down here when it comes to weather. Yeah, major stuff is happening. The biggest threat for Florida is probably going to be on Sunday, and depending on which flavor of modeling that you look at right now, right along the south part of the state, or maybe the western, even coast of the state. But it does look like the time period is settling on very late Saturday night into Sunday. So they still have some time as we record this on Wednesday, but still the logistics are staggering. There's a lot of people. If you've ever been down to Florida, that's not a small.
No.
I mean, to Miami. I mean, that's not a small. Heck, if it's a beautiful sunny day, just getting from Miami to the Florida Keys, it takes like a day. So
I saw that Irma is the size of. It's bigger than Ohio. the storm itself is bigger than
I
the
could
size
believe
of
that with
Ohio.
with the cloud shield and such, and yeah, it's interesting. We went so long without a major hurricane affecting the United, but that's the way of weather. It's the extremes that build the average.
Absolutely.
We always talk about the average high and the average low every day. Well, how many days did that average actually happen? It's the sum total of all the recorded time, and we're making up for it. But here, I hope you don't feel guilty, but we're gonna have a beautiful weekend.
Woohoo.
Here, well, they have some nice days that we don't have in January. So I guess yeah, you have to think of the trade-offs. We may get some showers scattered around here as we're on this afternoon, and then after that may be it for a while. Kind of brisk on Wednesday, but low to mid 70s every day from Thursday into Timbers. So we can get some pretty good weather out of that. So hopefully you can get some things done this weekend. I can pretend I'm still with those kind of blue skies. I can pretend we're still in Colorado. Thank you for the whole, mountain scenery thing. That might be a problem.
I got to ask you one quick thing about these hurricanes. What is a Category 5++?
A Category 5++?
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing being mentioned right now.
Well, I guess because, typically there isn't anything, it only goes up so far. I guess that's to denote the possibility that it's going to be mainly on the high end of the Category 5.
Mm-hmm.
The Saffir-Simpson scale is, predicated on, the actual wind speeds involved. It's different from the EF scale, or it used to be called just the F scale, but the Fujita scale for tornadoes is kind of an after the fact thing, and it's based more on the damage that is caused as opposed to the estimated wind speeds, because nobody's flying into a tornado to estimate. You can't. You don't know as much about a specific tornado ahead of time as you do from a hurricane. So that's one difference between when we toss around, it was an F1 tornado or an F3. We don't know that until after the fact, whereas usually, you have some idea of the hurricane before the fact. So, just to denote that it's on the high side of that Category 5, which is bad enough already, because it is an exponential thing. I mean, it's not like little stair steps from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. I mean, there's a big jump between each category.
Pretty much it's really bad.
It's really, yeah. But there's some terrible clickbait, too. I had tweeted earlier today some article from the Tennessean, which was you were supposed to click to find out, will Hurricane Irma strike Nashville? Short answer, probably not, since it's in the middle of Tennessee. But so there is some. It's prudent to be worried about it, but there are certainly plenty of people ready to take advantage of it.
Always.
Is it going to hit you in Des Moines, Iowa? Click here to find out why. And after these 3 ads preload, we'll tell you.
Do we all pay a stupid tax on the internet? Is that what we're talking about?
Every productive hour that we spend on there, I suppose you could say that we're doing it. Yeah.
Well, Paul, welcome back, and thanks so much for the wonderful news and the weather coming up here. We're love to see you back in the seat next week. Let us know if there's any other things that happen, and you can certainly chime into the Edge of Indy notes and news that we have if something arises here in Nashville or Indianapolis from the hurricane.
Florida, yes.
Tennessee,
Indianapolis. Probably not so much. And we're probably, we get remnants sometimes. But we're not hit by hurricanes.
Yep.
If we are, that means something big has happened that we didn't notice. And that means also our real estate is probably worth a lot more.
Coast property in Indianapolis.
That's right.
All right,
Things
man.
would change, yeah.
Thanks so much, Paul, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, Paul.
All right, see you guys.
All right.